Hey guys, it's Edie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well, and in today's video we're going to be doing how much I can realistically read in a week. So I do work full time, but it's more like shift work, so I can be starting really early in the morning or finishing really late in the evening. It just depends what they want me to do, and I don't work set days of the week or set number of days. They can use me for however they want to use me, basically. So I don't have your typical 9 to 5 job. So it's currently Monday and I'm filming it. I've got day off today and I've got tomorrow off Tuesday, and then I'm working. Am I working the rest of the week? I don't even really know, to be honest. I just take it day at a time. I have chosen how many books? 5? Yeah, 5 books that I would like to read. I don't think I'm going to read all 5 of them. I am probably only going to read either 3 or 4 of them, but I wanted the options of books that I could choose to read. So let me just go over each book that I have chosen. So the first one is Pucking Wild by Emily Raff, and this is the second book in the Jacksonville Rays series, which is a hockey romance series. The first book is very not your stereotypical romance, because it's a I can never say that word, polyamorous relationship between 3 guys and 1 girl. I believe this one's between a guy and a girl, or maybe 2 guys and a girl. I don't know, I think it's just 1 guy and 1 girl. I'm not really sure, an MF romance. That's all I really know about this one, and I am quite excited to read it because I did actually really like the first book in that series, which is Pucking Around. It kind of maybe is a guilty pleasure book, because I know a lot of people might not like that sort of book, but I actually really did enjoy it, so I am very excited to pick up this one. Then I've got the Baby Dragon Cafe by A.T. Queerish. I think that's how you pronounce it, is probably not, but what I know about this is it's a cozy fantasy sort of book, and I guess it follows a baby dragon cafe, and maybe there's dragons in it because you got a little dragon on the cover. I'm hoping, because I absolutely love dragons. So I'm very excited to read this because this is quite a short book. I believe it's not even, maybe just 300 pages. Yeah, just over 300 pages it is, so it's a nice and quick and short read. Then we've got Sky Shade by Alex Astor, and this is the 3rd book in, is it just called the Light Lark series? I believe it is. And this is a fantasy book. It's is it YA? Yes, it's a YA fantasy series. The first book in this series is Light Lark, and the second book is Nightbane, I want to say. Light Lark I really liked. I gave 4 stars. Nightbane I didn't like as much, but I still enjoyed it. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. I am very excited to read this, see what it's about, see what happens in the love triangle between Isla, Grimm and Oro, because I am Team Grimm all the way, but I am very excited to pick this up, see what it's all about, see what's going to happen, because I believe there's 2 more books that's still coming out in this series, and I believe 1 or maybe both, or I'm not really sure, coming this year, because this book did come out last year. Then we've got Slapshot by Chelsea Caruto, and this is another hockey romance, and this whole series follows the DC Stars. The first book in the series is Face Off, which I believe I gave a 4.5 or 4.75 stars. Then the second book is Power Play. I recently read that last month. I think I gave that a 3.5 stars, maybe, something like that. I didn't enjoy it as much, but I still did really like it. This is a single mum trope, and she becomes the chef for, who is it? Hudson Hayes is a defenseman for the DC Stars, so she becomes his private chef, and I guess she lives with him and her little kid, and I'm very excited because this kind of got hinted at in the past book, Power Play, and I'm just really excited to read this because I really did like this series so far, and I just love the covers of the series I don't know, I just love the vibe that they give off, and I really love the team and the dynamic of this whole team. It's so fun. They have these group chats that they're all talking in, and it's just so much fun reading it. And they also have these every once a week they have these I don't know if they call them game nights or just nights where they just go to one another's houses and they just don't talk about hockey, they just hang out and have fun, and it's just such a fun team dynamic in this book. And then the last book is a dark romance book I've got Luco Violetto, which is by Cora Riley, and this is the first book in, I don't know what this series is called, but it's the first book in the series, and I believe this is more a novella for the series, the first book you read. I'm not really sure. I've never read a Cora Riley book, but I am very excited to read this because I've heard good things about her, and this does sound like a really interesting like book and like series, because I believe it's like a mafia sort of romance. So those are all the books I've chosen that I hopefully will read this week. I'm not going to read all of them like I said, but I've got choices of what I want to pick because I like to keep my options open sometimes. And I think the first book I'm going to pick up is the Baby Dragon Cafe, because it is currently the 31st of March, and I hate like reading a book in start reading a book in 1 month and then finishing it in the next month, and I'm like, which month does that count as for reading that book in if I read it in both months? So I want to read this today and I want to get it finished today, because then I can just start a new book tomorrow and it'd be like a fresh clean month. I hope that makes sense, but I'm very like particular like that. I just hate like books crossing over into 2 months. I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. But this is the first book I'm going to pick up, like I just said. I'm now going to start reading this book, and I'm probably going to come back once I'm halfway through this book, once I have some thoughts and feelings and a little summary of what this book is about. I am exactly halfway through the Baby Dragon Cafe, which is on chapter 13, and I am really liking it so far. And basically what this is, Safara, she's opened this like cafe that will allow all the little baby dragons to come in with their owners, because most of the other establishments in the place where they live do not allow these baby dragons in, because they are very destructive, because they're baby dragons and they can't really control their like habits. I guess would you call them habits, or like when they breathe fire, all that sort of thing. They're very destructive. And one day she's in there and some dragon like destroys, well, a little baby dragon destroys the espresso machine. So her main source of like income from the cafe is gone, and it's a really expensive place and she can't really replace it. And then comes along Aiden, and he's basically like, oh, if you help train my dragon, I'll give you X amount of money in there. And she's like, oh my god, that's a lot of money. So then she agrees to it and she starts training Aiden's baby dragon, and they start hitting it off and have a little bit of a thing. That is basically a sum up of what this story is so far. Like I said, I am liking it. Is it a favourite? No. Will I remember it in like a week's time? Probably not. But it's cute, it's sweet. I am saying it's probably sitting at a 3.5 or 3.25 stars, because like I said, I probably won't remember it in a week, this book. But I am liking the characters. I'm not disliking anything about it. I did listen to part of this on audio book on Spotify, because I had hours left on my Spotify like audiobook thing, and now I've run out, so I'm gonna have to carry on reading the rest of it as a physical book. But it's a good book. There's no complaints from me about it. I'm gonna carry on reading this book, and I'm gonna come back to you once I have finished this book with my final thoughts and my final star rating of the book. So I finished the Baby Dragon Cafe, and I did like it. My thoughts, feelings are still kind of the same, but I've brought my star rating down to 2.75, because I did think this was really cute. I did enjoy parts of it, but this is like marketed as like a cozy fantasy. I don't think it's a fantasy at all, really. It's more of a romance book, I would say. It's more romance than romantasy even as well. And I just don't feel like the marketing for this book matched the like, I don't know, the way the book is and the book itself. And I say there was like hints of tiny bit of fantasy, but there wasn't much world building, just like your typical fantasy. It's more of a romance set in a fantasy world, but I wouldn't even say it's a romantasy either. Like I said, I did like parts of it, but I feel like the main two characters, I did not feel their chemistry as much. I felt it a bit more at the first half of the book. When I done my halfway check-in, I did like it more, but it started to go downhill for me after 50%. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because they were starting to actually what's the word? I can't think of what the word's called. Like, do things based on their feelings. There might be like, oh, I like, do you know, things like that. And maybe that was it, because I didn't really feel the chemistry and I saw them more as friends. That is basically a sum up of what I feel of this book. I did kind of still like it and enjoy it, and I did think this is really quick and easy to read and easy to follow along, because it wasn't really complicated, but it just didn't fit the vibe of what I thought it was going to be. So next clips you're going to see is probably going to be me tomorrow morning. I'm going to pick which book I'm going to read tomorrow, because like I said, on the first part of this video, when I first started filming, I don't want to pick another book up today because I don't like books overlapping each month. I'll just have to wait and see which book I'm feeling and which book I'm vibing with and want to read tomorrow. So it's now Tuesday, the next day in the morning, and I think I am going to pick up Puckin' Wild by Emily Raff. I am just craving a good hockey romance, and I absolutely loved the first book in the series like I mentioned earlier, and I'm really excited to pick this up. And I don't really know much about it, like I said earlier, but all it is a hockey romance, and it is quite thick. And from the first book in this series, there's quite a lot of like spicy scenes, so I reckon there's probably going to be quite a lot in this book. So I'm just going to come back to you guys once I'm probably halfway through this book with my thoughts and feelings so far, and then a little summary of what this book is about. So it's now like past 7 p.m. on Wednesday, and I've literally just got home from work, not even, probably half an hour ago, and I read about 220 pages yesterday in the end while reading this, and I read probably 20 pages in the car before I had to go into work this morning. This book follows Tess and Ryan. Ryan is like the forward for the NHL hockey team Rays, and he is 22, and then Tess is 33, I think she is. So this is like an age gap romance, but age gap is reversed. And how they meet the first time is they're at like one of the players' house, because Tess is best friends with the doctor on the team. So she also gets invited to the house to this like party sort of thing, and they're on the beach having a party, and that's where they first meet. And then they, like a couple months later, they are at a wedding and they dance and they get pictured together. And then Tess's like husband, but they're like separated, so they're not together, like finds out some things, and he's trying to basically ruin her life and career. So what does she do? She just runs. She goes back to see her best friend, turns up at her best friend's doorstep, and she's like, oh, you can go stay at this house, nobody's living there. And then Ryan, for whatever reason, I'm not going to say because I don't know if it says it on the back of the book, back of the book for the description, but he ends up having to stay at this house too that Tess is staying in. Oh, they become like roommates. That is kind of the basic situation of what this book is about. And they've always had this like spark in chemistry ever since the first moment they met, and it's getting harder and harder for them to deny it and for them to like not pay attention to it. You get like a beach bonus scene at the beginning of this book, which is basically when they first met on that beach sort of party, and the song that Emily Raff says that goes with that chapter is "One Kiss is all it takes," and I just love that. I love this book, I love Tess and Ryan, and I just love this whole series so far. Even though this is only the second book I've read in this series, I just love it so much. Is it a thick and chunky book? Yes, but when I was reading it yesterday, I felt myself just flying through it, and I didn't want to stop reading it, but I had to because I had to go to bed because I had work. I feel like at the moment this is sitting between like a sort of 3.5, 4-star book, because I'm really liking it. I'm just gonna have to see what happens throughout the rest. And one thing I do know, Emily Raff does like a lot of spice in her books, and there's been like 1 or 2 sort of like spicy scenes, and I just know the last, like, I'm not halfway through yet even, but the last half or the rest of this book is just going to be full of it. And it's just so much fun, this series is. So I'm going to carry on reading this. I'm probably not going to update you guys till maybe, I don't know, tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to finish this tomorrow, but I might just come back to you guys and be like, oh, this is what I've read, or this is where I'm at. I don't really know. It's just have to wait and see how my day goes tomorrow at work, because I start at 7:50. I'm meant to finish at 3:30. Yeah, 3:30. But it could change really. I could be finishing later, earlier. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to wait and see, and then see how much I can read tonight, see how much I can read tomorrow. I am hoping to finish this book tomorrow, but I'm on page 261, which is chapter 34, and there's like, how many pages in this book? Just over 600 pages, so I've still got over halfway of this book left, but I want to finish it tomorrow, but I don't think I am going to. I feel like I was just rambling on just then, but I'm just gonna come back to you guys probably tomorrow just to give you a little update of if I'm able to finish it or not. So it's now Thursday and it's like almost like 10 p.m. and I have finished Pucking Wild by Emily Raff, and I ended up giving this 4 stars because I absolutely loved it. I had so much fun while reading this book, and the way like Ryan, like all the things he said during his love, like his like love sort of like confession thing to Tess, it was everything. Oh, I was just eating that up. Also, I felt so connected to his character because he has dyslexia and I have it, and like I felt it was such well represented, and like some of the things he was struggling with I struggle with, and it just really hit me. It did, and I just thought it was so well handled and so well portrayed throughout the book, his struggles with it. Also, the crumbs you get for the next book in this series, which the next book is Pucking Sweet, and that is already out, and that book is for Poppy, Novi and Morrow, I think. And the crumbs you're getting for them, I am so excited for that book. I want to pick it up now, but I can't because I've got other books I want to read in this video, but this was just so good. I had so much fun, and the spice in this book, it was exactly like, it wasn't exactly like Pucking Around because that's quite a different setup for the relationship, but the spice on that level, because it is now almost 10 p.m. I am not going to be picking up another book tonight because I've got work tomorrow, so I'm going to just pick a book up tomorrow. I feel like it might be the Alex Astor Sky Shade, is that what it's called? Yeah, I think I might pick that one up next, but I'm not really sure, but I probably am going to pick that one up next. So I'll probably just come back to you guys maybe tomorrow morning when I am picking up Sky Shade or whichever book I decide to read tomorrow, and just start reading it. So it's now the next morning and I've decided to pick up Sky Shade by Alex Astor. I've read about 36 pages this morning, so I'm going to carry on reading this. Hopefully I'll read it today and tomorrow, finish it tomorrow, but I don't know, that's what I want to do and plan on doing. So today I'm just going to carry on reading. I should be able to get halfway through this book today. So I'm just going to come back to you guys once I have some thoughts and feelings about this book when I'm halfway through it. So I'm probably just over halfway through this book because I'm on page almost 200, and I don't really know how to feel about this because I'm enjoying it, but then I'm also confused at the same time at some parts and just not understanding what's happening because it's been a while since I read the like first and second book, but I did watch a recap on TikTok, so I thought I brought myself back up, but reading this, well, I think I'm not fully focused on reading this, maybe that's why, but one minute I'm like, oh, how did we get, I don't really know, I'm just confused at some parts. But like I said, I am enjoying it because this is a very heavy book for Grimm and Isla, and I am absolutely team Grimm because he is just top tier for me. That's what I really have to say because I can't really explain this book because it's the third book in the series and I don't want to spoil it, and I don't really know how to explain or stuff about the first book because I'm not too, I can't really remember too much about it. I am enjoying it, it's alright. I'd say it's probably sitting at 3 stars because Light Lark I absolutely loved, I gave that 4 stars. Nightbane I didn't like as much, I gave that 3.5 stars, but I still did enjoy it. I just feel like this isn't as good as those, or I'm not enjoying it as much, but I am still enjoying this book. So I am going to carry on reading this for the rest of tonight because it's currently, I think it's probably almost 7 o'clock, but I've got work at 5:45 I start, so I wake up 2 hours before that, so I really want to be going to bed at like 7 or 8, something like that. I've already taken my makeup off, then I'm gonna just do my skincare, then I'm gonna get in bed and just read until I have to go to bed pretty much. And then I'm probably just gonna come back to you guys tomorrow once I finish this book, because I should be able to finish this tomorrow. So it's now Saturday, the next day after the previous clip. It's almost 5 p.m. and I've just finished Sky Shade by Alex Aster, and my thoughts and feelings are still exactly the same as when I done on my like previous check-in. Like, I just get so confused at some points, but I think because it was because the plot was quite, not messy, just, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it, other than it was just confusing me at more points and it didn't make sense in my head. But I don't know if that was just me, but I've read other reviews on Goodreads and other people were saying the plot was a bit all over the place, so maybe it's not just me. I also felt like the love triangle was getting a bit like old for me, and it just became quite repetitive to me, and because it almost was like, it wasn't really going back and forth, but this is the third book and there's been 3 books of like, oh, a love triangle, and I'm like, oh come on, just choose someone. Like, I just want a definite answer of who she's chosen. It's just getting, like I said, too repetitive, going like back and forth. Oh, I love them both, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, I understand that, but choose one. Just choose one. I just need to know. What brought this book's star rating up for me was Grimm, because I love Grimm so much. The things he was saying to Isla, it was everything. I feel like if it wasn't for like the characters and being invested to see who finds out, well, not who finds out, who ends up being with Isla in the end, and I feel like that is what's going to keep me carrying on reading this series, because other than that, the plot's alright, the story's alright, it's not amazing. Like I said, I'm confused at some points, but I feel like it's the characters and who she's going to end up with that I want to keep reading this series, because I need to find out. After reading 3 books now, I need to know, and I feel like there's going to be 2 more books in this series. Like, if each one is still a love triangle, I'm going to be annoyed, because 5 books of a love triangle, that is too much. I'm sorry, but that would be very, very repetitive of going back and forth. Oh, I love them, I don't. Oh, it'll probably get on my nerves, but I will carry on reading because I need to find out who she ends up with. Did I say what I rated it? I don't know. If I didn't, I gave it a 3 stars. So at the beginning of this video, I think I had 5 books, and I've got 2 more left that I picked out that I wanted to read, and I knew I wasn't going to read all of them. I'm feeling kind of in a dark romance vibe. For whatever reason, I haven't read a dark romance in a while, and I've got like the rest of the afternoon today and tomorrow for what I realistically read in a week, and I should be able to read this like tonight and finish it tomorrow, because tomorrow I haven't got work. I've got a day off work, so I could just sit there and read and binge it. So I should be able to do that, and I just want something like fun and not serious, and it's just a good time, because I feel like always dark romance books, well, they're not always a good time, but they're just quite fun and not light-hearted because they're dark romance, but I feel like you know what I mean. They're just very different and not realistic, and I don't really know what I'm saying, but I am going to pick up this book now. It's Luca Violetto by Cora Riley. This is the first book in, what is it? I'm going to look up the series. I want to say it's maybe Bound By, because I feel like the rest of the series is, the rest, other books in the series, they're called Bound By, I think, I'm not sure, so let me look it up. It's not called Bound By, but the rest of the books are all Bound By like Vengeance or Bound By Love, but it's called Born in Blood Mafia Chronicles, and this is like it isn't technically the first book, it's marked on Goodreads as 0, so this is like a little novella. So I'm going to pick this book up now, and I'm just going to come back to you guys once I have some thoughts, some feelings, and a little summary of what this book is about. Okay guys, so I just read the author's note, and it basically is saying this book is from someone else's point of view from the first book in the series. So I don't think I should be picking this book up. I think I should be picking technically the first book in the series, so let me just go get that. This is technically the first book in the series, and it is Bound by Honor by Cora Riley. Like I said, I believe this book here is the other person in the couple's point of view from this book. I think. That's what it says. So I think I'm actually meant to pick up this one, so I'm gonna pick up this one and start reading it. I've also just looked on Cora Riley's Instagram, and I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it goes Bound by Honor, then the Luca book. So I'm gonna do it in that order because I was just doing some research on TikTok, and some people were saying to read the Luca Violetto book first, some people were saying read Bound by Honor first, so I was like, which one am I gonna read? But I think I'm gonna go with Bound by Honor because it literally, she's got it on her own Instagram, so if she's recommended it to read that way, the author does, I'm going to read it the way the author recommends to read it. So now I'm just going to start reading Bound by Honor, and I'm just going to come back to you guys tomorrow once I have a little summary and some thoughts and feelings on this book. So it's now Sunday morning, and I'm roughly halfway through Bound by Honor by Cora Riley, which is on chapter 10, and I am really liking this. This book follows Ari and Lucas, and Ari is the daughter of a famous, well, the mafia of, where is it, Chicago, and Lucas is the next heir of the New York mafia, and their families have always been like rivals, they've never gotten along. Luca and Ari are now being put into this arranged marriage so that the families can come together and they won't have this like feud anymore, basically. So that's what this book is. It's an arranged marriage between two mafia families, and I am really liking it. I really do kind of like Lucas, but something Lucas has just done is a bit not good. This is only told from Ari's point of view, and the book that I was showing you earlier that I thought was the first book in the series, and that is Luca's point of view from this story. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what he, well, basically what he was thinking while he was doing this. So maybe I will hate him then, or maybe I'll dislike him, because what he's kind of done has made me kind of disliked him. And I knew this was coming because when I was doing the research on which book to read first, it kind of got spoiled that he'd done that, so I wasn't shocked when he'd done that because I knew that was coming. But it isn't making me dislike this book because of like circumstances. All I'm going to say, I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to spoil it if you do want to read it. But there is a trope in this book that a lot of people do hate. But I'm not hating the book, I'm liking it, it's fun. It's what it is, it's a mafia romance. It's not lighthearted, it's crazy. There's a lot going on. And I am quite enjoying it. I am saying it's probably sitting at 3.5 stars. I feel like it could have the potential to be 4 stars, but I don't know if it will quite get there. I'm just gonna have to wait and see what I think by the end of this book. But I am liking it, and I am excited to read the other books in this series because there's lots of books and like things that have been maybe hinted at that could be other couples in this mafia world. I'm intrigued by that, but I'm liking it. It's an alright book. So I'm going to carry on reading this book, and now I'm just going to come back to you guys once I have my final thoughts and my final star rating of the book. So I've now finished Bound by Honor by Cora Riley, and I'm still going to stick with, I think I was saying in the previous clip, 3.5 stars, because I did really like it, and this was my first book I've ever read by Cora Riley, and I thought it was easy to read, easy to follow along with. I liked the plot, and I found myself, I was like flying through this while reading it because it is quite a short book as well. This is a mafia romance, and it's only told in the FMC's point of view, which is Ari, and you don't really get to see that much of the inner workings or like the things you would see from the MC's point of view who's in the mafia. So you don't really get that sort of bit from this book, but because you kind of only got to see what she saw and what she got told by like people that she was around, so you never really saw, well, there was a scene at the end which was like proper mafia sort of stuff. I do hope you know what I mean by that, and I will be continuing this series because I really did like it, and I am really excited to see the other couples and the other books, because you kind of get hinted at, oh, this person likes this person, or these people are, yeah, I'm not going to say anything else, but I am excited to carry on this series to see how it is, because Cora Riley has this whole like world, universe, and there's like, she has different series, but I believe they're all kind of interconnected series in a way, I want to say. So, and I do believe this is the first series you should read by her. So I am very excited to dive into this world because I do like it so far. Also, I would say, well, there was stuff happening in the first like 60-70% of the book, but the last 30% of the book is where a lot of the major things happened, you could say. So it did get a bit more exciting, a bit more thrilling in the last 30%, and there was a couple of like shocking moments that had me sitting on the edge of my seat, because I was like, oh my god, that just happened. And I actually like gasped, I was like a couple of times. So I do have like quite a few hours left of the day, but I'm not going to read another book because I don't really think I'll be able to read another book in like half a day. I could, but I don't really want to because I don't want to force myself to read, and I want to start filming another book video, a reading vlog, and it's probably going to come out the week after this one. I'm not really 100% sure yet where it's going, but it should be after this one, and I want to start filming it today so then I can start reading the book for it. So now I'm just going to go over the 4 books I read and just what I rated each one. So the first book I read was The Baby Dragon Cafe by A.T. Quarish, and I gave it a 2.75 stars. Then I read Pucking Wild by Emily Raff, and I gave that a 4 stars. Then I read Sky Shade by Alex Sasser, and I gave that a 3 stars. And then I read Bound by Honor by Cora Riley, and I gave that a 3.5 stars. So overall it wasn't really a bad reading week. I have done a couple of like statistics of how many pages I have read each week, so I'm just gonna each day, so I'm gonna go over those with you guys now. So on Monday I read 309 pages, Tuesday I read 225, Wednesday I read 80 pages, Thursday I read 306, Friday I read 240, Saturday I read 2 books. The first book that day I read 140 pages, and the second book I read 72 pages, which combined is 112 pages. Then today I read 188 pages, and in total that would come to 1,560 pages read this week. I feel like that's quite good because I was kind of expecting maybe to only read 3 books, but I'm very proud and happy with myself that I was managed to read 4 books. But I feel like filming this reading vlog made me kind of also more motivated to read and read a bit more, because I literally every single chance I got, well, not every single chance, I was doing other things, but I've just read as much as I could to see how much I could realistically read in a week while also like working. So considering I work like technically a full-time job, but it's like shift work, I thought I'd done quite well because sometimes my hours can be all over the place. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, do subscribe so you can see more videos from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!